and thanks to Himangi ma'am for covering up my timing. So, and definitely I was listening to her suggestions also. They were super, important suggestions. So, thank you, Himangi ma'am, once again. I hope my slides are visible to all of you.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, and yeah. So, what is visible now? Now the screen is visible or the slides are visible?
Sir, the whole screen is visible.
Screen is visible. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, so I hope this is visible to all of you now. Visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for your response. In the last class, I think we have discussed about literature review. Some of the points have already been discussed by Himangi ma'am as well. But I just wanted to understand, like, what is your understanding about it? Like, whether you people have gone through the literature about the topics that you have chosen.
Yes,
Any?
sir. 20 studies we reviewed.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
So, how was the selection process? How did you selected the topics?
Sir,
I mean,
based on the variable like foundational literacy one, second one is foundational numeracy skills.
okay,
Then the area wise, like in
okay,
India only, in
okay,
different states.
okay,
Uh, and the publishing years,
okay,
only recent studies we selected.
okay. So basically, they are called the keywords. You have added, you have put some keywords, and accordingly, you have searched the literature, right?
Yes, sir.
And initially, you must have gone through the abstract of the papers as well.
Yes, sir. Abstract and full papers also we
Yeah,
have.
yeah. So sometimes what
Mm.
happens, in case if you really have, I mean, so huge literature base is there, no, in that case, you can just go through the abstracts. And once you read the abstracts, you will get to know that whether that paper is suitable to your study or not, right? And even if then only you can keep that paper whether you wanted to like refer it further for your study or you wanted to just like trash it away, right? So accordingly, like you
Yes,
can
sir.
initially you can get a glance of that paper immediately with the abstract itself, right?
Yes, sir.
So that can be done. And in case sometimes what happens, it's like many abstracts are not so clear, like they may not make you so clear about what they are exactly talking about. So in that case, maybe you can just like have a look at the full paper, but not necessarily every time you will just like read the full paper and then you will decide whether to keep that paper for your further references or not. So that will take a lot of time as well, right? So you should not read each and every paper that is coming to your like coming based on your keyword searches. Okay, you should be very very specific in terms of selection of the articles as well. So that's it about the last class. Today we will like briefly talk about research methodologies, different research methods that we use like in any of the research, whether it is social science research, whether it is natural science research, or whether it is any other research, like whatever we wanted to do in a scientific manner, we should definitely have to use certain scientific methods, right? Otherwise it will not be called as a scientific research. Everyone does, right? We need not to use always use the methodology only, है ना? हम लोग अगर अमेजोन पे कुछ सर्च करते हैं तो उस पे भी हम लोग रिसर्च ही करते हैं ना पहले. So what mobile do I wanted to buy, what are the features of that particular mobile, what what is my budget size, what is my like brand preference. So all those things we also keep, we while buying a mobile also we keep that in mind, right? So likewise in research also we definitely have to have uh, kind of, like basic guiding research questions in our mind, so that accordingly we can apply the different filters, right? So just as an example which I have given about buying a mobile phone from any of the online sites, for that we put or we apply certain methods, right? So my method is something, what is the tool of my search? My laptop is the tool, and the site is there where I am typing that this type of mobiles I wanted to buy. So these are different methods that you are applying, and then accordingly you are getting the exact results what you want. So likewise, I mean, that is just the like casual example, but in the research, when you are doing something about social sciences, when you are doing something, when you are trying to search something in the society, when you are trying to address something in the society, in that case you should definitely have a scientific rigor. You should definitely have a scientific mind, wherein you are applying each and every steps of the research. So whether be it the right research questions, be it the right research topic, be it the right research hypothesis, be it the right research objectives, be it the right research problem statement, each and everything that you are writing or that you are putting on the paper will be definitely should be very very thoroughly understood as well as written over there. It should be very very rigorously written as well, okay, so that it will give you the desired results, so that it will give you the exact results that you have written down in your objectives. Otherwise it will not give you the results. So thereby applying the right research methodology, applying the right research methods, tools to your research are have utmost importance. If you don't apply them properly, they may not give you the exact results that are desired by as you as a researcher. Okay, so let us try to understand what are the different research tools, methods, sampling techniques, some of the other key points in the research methodology section, and then we can have we can definitely have a one-to-one discussion on your topics as well. So research methodology is a systematic approach to inquiry. Okay, so your problem for which you are doing an inquiry, your research topic or your research question for which you are doing an inquiry, right? So research methodology is a systematic approach which when you apply that, you will systematically direct you to do that inquiry in a very particular manner. Okay, so what it helps us out, that ensures validity. Validity means whether that data, whether that reality in the society is proper, whether it is valid or not, whether it has a actual facts or not, or whether you are just like you are going randomly and you are collecting the data. That will not that is not the thing that will come if you apply research methodology. Okay, then the other point is reliability. Reliability means when like not just you, but when someone else will read your research or will read your article, they should be reliable on your information that that you are providing to them. So that reliability will come only after if you apply the scientific research methodology, right? We also, like when you are doing a literature review, or when you are doing a literature survey also, are you looking at any of the articles which are randomly published by anybody? No, you are definitely going by the scientific research articles. You are definitely searching for academic research articles because they are reliable. because they are you can trust on them, and thereby it is important to apply the research methodology. Somebody have typed something. Is there anything that you would like to say? Because I am not able to see the messages in the chat box.
No, sir. Sir, please continue, sir.
Okay, because like anybody, if you wanted to say something, and I mean, if there is any message also in the chat box, no, somebody whoever can speak, please let me know what is that concern, so that because here no, I am not able to see because I have shared the full screen on my laptop. So reliability, as I said, is very important, and that comes only and only after the scientific research methodology when you apply objectivity. So research methodology gives you certain like very factual information where you are like you are studying particularly on particular problem, and that comes only after applying different research methods. Different methods means different sampling methods, for example, universe of your research study, maybe which tool that you are applying for your research study, like for example whether it will be questionnaire or whether it will be interview schedule. So what exactly matches to your problems, I mean for your study, will definitely give you objectifiable results, where you can definitely uh, I mean say that this is my particular study research about, I mean results are about. Then scope covers planning. Research methodology definitely helps you out in the planning. Then execution, how will you be able, how are you going to execute that particular research study. And then analysis of research in social context, since this is the social science research like context we are talking about, so thereby social contexts. Otherwise if it is natural sciences, then you can definitely, it will give a natural context analysis, results of analysis. Okay, so research methodology basically helps you out for the planning, execution and analysis of research in social contexts. Okay, so thereby research methodology becomes a very important aspect while doing any research, if you are doing it in a scientific manner. Okay, uh, types of research, types of research methods primarily. One is qualitative research and the other one is quantitative. Okay, these are primary research methods, where which one will be the most useful for your research study has to be decided by you. Okay, I need not to go into the like basics of qualitative and quantitative. You will be definitely I mean you will be easily understand that, right? Qualitative means understanding human behavior. Okay, so whichever is the reality which cannot be quantified will be called as a qualitative. So in the society there are so many issues which we should not like which should not be quantified, right? For example, यहाँ पे लिखा है suicidal families in Maharashtra. For example, we have witnessed lot many farmer suicides, right? So lot many means how many? For example, in 2025-26 फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2000 और मे बी 2025 में कितने सारे सुसाइड्स हुए हैं, उसका नंबर जो है वो डेफिनेटली क्वांटिफाई क्वांटिटेटिव स्टडीज से ही आ जाएगा, जिसमें उसमें उसमें अगर आपको डेमोग्राफिक एस्पेक्ट्स भी अगर डालने हैं, तो लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल हाउ मेनी सुसाइड्स हैव बीन लाइक experienced there in Marathwada region of Maharashtra, or maybe in Vidarbha region of Maharashtra, or maybe with Western Maharashtra, then that kind of geographic context also will come up with that. Then you can also get a number of suicides based on the district names as well, right? At the same time you can also get the numbers of farmer suicides in terms of their social categories. So how many farmers have committed from scheduled caste communities, how many farmers have committed suicide from scheduled tribes, OBCs, general category communities. So these kind of demographic results also definitely can be taken from the quantity research. But now, if you wanted to study what is the impact of farmer suicide on the suicidal families, then will you be able to quantify that impact? Obviously not,
No,
right?
sir.
You will not be able to quantify the feelings of somebody, the trauma that has been faced by some families, the kind of impact on their children's cannot be quantified, right? So thereby there can be application of both of these methods in this particular study. If you are studying farmer suicides in Maharashtra, you can definitely apply qualitative research. At the same time, you can apply quantitative research as well. Okay? So that may be called as mixed methods. You are applying both quantitative and qualitative, in which in the first phase of your research, you are doing just the quantification of the number of farmer suicides in different by applying different variables. And in the latest phase, in the next phase, maybe you are tapping the most impacted families. You are identifying the families, and then you are directly seeing the impact of farmer suicides on those particular families in different regions, or if in different districts, or in of different special categories, communities as well. Okay? So thereby farmer suicides can be studied in both the ways. At the same time, the studies that you people are taking up, for example, education, for example, education of the underprivileged communities. Now here also you can apply both. Whether it will be, I mean, what exactly is your intention, that matters a lot. If you wanted to understand the phenomena of that particular community about education, then there might be you need to decide whether that will be qualitative research or quantitative research, or you just wanted to have the numbers of different variables where there is no need of much of interpretation. In that case, you can apply quantitative research. Okay? And if you wanted to go with both qualitative and quantitative, then you can specifically mention in your methodology section that you'll be applying mixed method research approach. Okay? Where you are definitely taking certain number of surveys, which is the quantitative information, and certain number of, maybe I have just given here as an example as focus group discussion. There can be interviews, in-depth interviews, case studies, or many other things. Okay? So likewise, whatever will be highly applicable to your study, that has to be decided by you. Okay? Now there are some philosophical foundations also to all these inquiries, all these methods as well. So there is one philosophy, or philosophical foundations will be called as ontology, and the other one is epistemology. Let us try to fragment that into different parts and pieces. Now positivism and interpretivism is also something, one of the some of the foundations of philosophy, because research is always is a branch of certain philosophical foundations. So positivism gives you the objective reality in the society, where the facts are measurable, whereas interpretivism will give you the understanding or the meaning from participants' perspectives. Okay? So for example, you have a mobile, or maybe one water bottle is there with you, and if you wanted to understand that how many bottles are there, water bottles are there, and different types of what types of bottles that are there, maybe you can quantify glass bottles are there, silicon plastic bottles are there, then some other type of bottles are there. This kind of quantification you are doing. But what this bottle is used for, there can be different perspectives from the respondents, right? Participants, right? Some people will be saying that, like, yeah, this bottle is used for water, drinking water. Some people will definitely say that this bottle will be used for drinking coffee, tea. Some people will be saying that, like, my context is different because I'm a farmer, and I have got this bottle so that I can carry milk of my cow to my family. So in the bottle we can also carry the milk, right? Or maybe some people will say that, like, the bottle can be used for some other things also. So people's understanding about each and every object is different, and that differentiation can be understood with the interpretivist mindset. Okay, so that interpretivist mindset means that that is the qualitative mindset, wherein you are trying to understand the reality behind the objective. You are not just trying to understand the reality. यहाँ पे आप सिर्फ रियलिटी देख रहे हैं क्या इंटरप्रेटिविज्म में? नहीं, आप लोग रियलिटी के पीछे की रियलिटी क्या है, और मे भी ऑब्जेक्टिव को अलग अलग, एक ही ऑब्जेक्टिव को लोग अलग अलग तरीके से कैसे समझते हैं, है ना? किसी के लिए कास्ट एक बड़ा प्रॉब्लम ओके, और किसी के लिए कास्ट एक प्रिविलेज है ना? दो अलग अलग पर्सपेक्टिव्स। किसी के लिए लगता है कि मैं अलग कम्युनिटी से हूं, तो मेरा मुझे बहुत बार हमेशा आई हैव फेस सो मेनी लाइक डिस्क्रिमिनेशन इन द सोसाइटी. For some people, caste is privilege. So in the qualitative research, the interpretivism is the real, I mean, can be tapped from the participants. सो ऑब्जेक्ट एक ही है, लेकिन ऑब्जेक्ट के पीछे जो रियलिटी है, दैट कैन बी अंडरस्टूड विद द application of qualitative research, and that is called the interpretivist approach. Okay, and positivism is objective reality, measurable facts. ठीक, ये समझ में आया? इसमें कोई दिक्कत है?
No, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay, now critical theory. This is also something which is very important aspect, primarily in social science research. Critical theory is something, is a, something which is very very important theory as well, that challenging power structures and promoting change. So for example, आप जेंडर के ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं, तो आप सिर्फ जेंडर के, लाइक, जेंडर पे सिर्फ महिलाओं का एम्पावरमेंट करने से जेंडर इक्वालिटी प्रस्तापित हो जाएगी क्या? सिर्फ महिलाओं को आप क्या कर रहे हैं, कुछ स्किल दे रहे हैं, फिर उनको इंडस्ट्री में जॉब लगाने के लिए कोशिश कर रहे हैं, उनको एजुकेट भी कर रहे हैं. या डेफिनेटली दैट विल बी समथिंग विच विल बी contributing for their empowerment. But at the same time, there is something which is very very strongly there in the society, that foundation which discriminates the men and women. I'm saying men also. That is called patriarchy, and that is the power structure, right? Unless a critical theory suggests you to challenge that power structure itself, if you challenge that, then you will see the results automatically there in the society. Okay, so gender is one of the examples. Even caste is also something which is another example. So critical theory gives you a different approach where you are trying to reach to the roots of the problems, not just the like the peripheral problems that you see. You are reaching to the roots of the problem, roots of the causes. Okay, so these are some of the, I mean, there are many other foundations as well, but these are some of the philosophical foundation which are just for your like initial understanding when you are doing a I mean when you're carrying forward this your research in your uh, I mean kind of in your internship or in your education. Research process and steps. So basically problem identification, this you people already have all done, I think. Literature review is also, I think, most of you have almost done with. Then hypothesis formulation, this also must have been done by all of you, right? Then in the research process there is research design, which we are discussing now, is also something very very important while conducting a research. This is also part of research methodology only. Okay. Then data collection. Data collection is also one of the very important and critical aspect in your research, so that also has to be followed in a proper sequence only. You cannot collect the data and then you apply the design, or you cannot collect the data before and then formulate the questions. ऐसे नहीं होता है, उसका एक सीक्वेंस भी होता है, ठीक है. Then after data collection, you can do the data analysis based on the data that you have received. Then conclusion and dissemination of findings. So this is the normal and formal process that is followed in most of the research. There are some more like for the master's level research or bachelor's level research, you can follow this basic structure. But there are many other things also can be followed in different types of research studies. Now, data collection methods. Surveys, primarily like public opinions on social issues, right? You need not to, I mean, have a open-ended questions here. You are like preparing one questionnaire. Nowadays, most famous is Google online Google Forms, which I don't suggest. But in case if it is very difficult for you to collect data, then you can use it. But primarily, you should go to the respondent and fill out the questionnaire. That will be the best way to get the responses by observing the respondents, like environment and his or her expressions as well. Yeah. So but in the surveys, what do you primarily do is public opinion polls on various social issues, whatever studies that you are carrying out. That can be called as, if you are applying just surveys, then that can be called as a survey research. Then interviews. So here interviews can be in two ways. One is in-depth interview, which is applied for sometimes applied for qualitative research and sometimes applied for quantitative research as well. So primarily interviews. Within that also there are two different types. One is structured interview schedule, and the other one is unstructured interview schedule. So this unstructured interview schedule is something like is just the like outline of the questions or of the pointers that you would like discuss with the participants. Okay, which will be unstructured. There are no options, there are no like kind of there is no proper sequence also. It is just the outline, it is just the checklist that you have prepared, and accordingly you are taking an interview of anybody who is your participant in your research. Okay. And structured interview schedule means, when you say it, structured interview schedule means you are structuring it in such a way which wherein like you just need to do the tick marks to the options that you are giving. So for example, you are asking one question and you have 4 5 whatever, like 3 4 5 6 sometimes options to each of those questions. So here you are like, you have structured it in a well manner, where you are just like doing, but you are doing an interview, physical interview, and you are noting down the responses, sometimes circling the responses, sometimes ticking the responses. Okay. So structured interview schedule, unstructured interview schedule, and there is one more interview schedule that can be called as the semi-structured interview schedule. Okay. Semi-structured means what? Here you are, some of the questions which are close-ended, wherein there is no scope for respondents to have like give any answers beyond the questions limit. Okay. And there is another section, or maybe in between only, you can add open-ended questions also. Open-ended questions means wherein, like, for example, like you have you face this many what type of problems do you face in your society. So maybe you can list down some of the options, like educational problems, social problems, employment problems, and all. And below to that questions, why would be the open-ended question. Okay. So this is how you can structure, or you can frame your questions as applicable to your research study, whatever you desire to. Okay. Then and sometimes these interviews, or the close-ended and open-ended, can supplement to your research findings also many times, right? So for example, if you're talking about some fact in in numbers, then there is another section of your research only, there will be open-ended question, where you are interpreting the fact with the open-ended questions as well, open-ended answers as well. Okay. So you are complementing your responses, as well as supplementing your data as well. Okay. So you choose, or you decide what to be most useful, most like applicable to your research study. Then focused groups. So groups means, here also you can do, if you are doing a mixed method research study, then you can apply some interviews and some focus. Now focus groups means wherein, like, you are selecting some of the focused respondents. They are called participants in the qualitative research. Be careful about using the adjectives. For example, for the quantitative research, you should definitely call them respondents, but for qualitative research, they are your participants. Okay. So in the focus group, the participants are the specific community peoples on which your research is focusing on. Okay. So your research is focusing on some particular community women's, then in that case, those community women's only should be a part of your focused group. Otherwise, should not be anybody and everyone, just for the photo sake, or just for the like, just to make the show of your research. So focus group discussions are something very, very important, and how to conduct those focus groups are also very, very critical. Okay. So while conducting focus groups, you should also, your sitting position also should be very, very in a proper manner. You should not be seated on the chair, and the participants are sitting on the ground. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, वो डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी लगता है आपको। अगर ग्रुप में कम्युनिटी रिसर्च जब कर रहे हैं आप, तो उसमें क्या करना है कि आप कम्युनिटी के साथ मिलजुल के बैठना है। आप उसी जो सर्कल उन्होंने बनाया है, उसी सर्कल में आप भी वहीं पे कहीं तो बैठ रहे हैं। जहाँ पे फोकस ग्रुप में क्या होता है, बहुत बार सम ऑफ द पीपल्स आर मोर डोमिनेंट in the talks, and some people are quite they are not they are not at all responsive. So in those cases, it is your responsibility to make them speak, to probe them. Okay. Giving them hints, giving them some points. And if somebody is dominating the discussion, then in that case, you can, like, diplomatically, you will have to apply your own skills, your own communication skills, your own like group handling skills. So wherein, like, if somebody is talking so much, you can just, like, ask that person to, can we also have some others views on this particular aspect. So likewise, you will have to apply different skills while conducting focus groups discussions. Otherwise, what happens, the dominant person only speaks a lot, and there is no use of then in that case, that is not a group discussion, that is just the personal discussion, right? Wherein, like, that person is only speaking, and you are noting down the points which are coming from that particular person. So each and every group member should definitely have their opinions, should definitely speak, so that you will get the entire group perspective. Okay. So that is something which is very important aspect that has to be kept in mind. uh, then ethnography is like uh, ethnographic studies are kind of context specific cultural studies, or you're studying something about some ethnic communities and all. So basically we like the most famous one is tribal communities. So with the tribal communities, if you wanted to study something about their culture, something about their like overall social being, something about their community as a feeling, their traditions, their like what रीति रिवाज, रूढ़ी परंपरा जो होते हैं, ये अगर आपको समझना है, अंडरस्टैंड करना है, तो आप बाहर से नहीं कर सकते ना. आप you cannot be away from this community, and you cannot just like conduct that. So you'll have to apply ethnographic research here, wherein like you are studying, I mean you are being with the communities, observing by living with them, and then you are like being a part of those communities, as if like you are a part of that particular community only, so that you are getting a rich insights from the community. Okay, so ethnographic research is also like something very important, and that you may carry out if in case that is necessary for your research. Okay, experiments. So experimental studies like behavioral studies in the controlled setting. Okay, so for example, if you wanted to see some, like for example, you have applied some you have done some kind of counseling sessions with uh, with the group of juvenile children's. जुवेनाइल चिल्ड्रंस आप लोग समझते जो बच्चे 14 साल से पहले या 18 साल से पहले जिन लोगों ने कुछ उनसे कुछ मतलब अगर कुछ अघटित घटना घटी है उनसे, और जिसकी वजह से दे आर सेंट टू द ऑब्जर्वेशन होम्स, निरीक्षण गृह में अगर उनको भेजा जाता है, और उनके साथ आप कंटिन्यूस ये कर रहे, कुछ काउंसलिंग सेशंस कर रहे हैं, और उसके ऊपर उसका जो रिएक्शन है या उसका जो ये है इम्पैक्ट है, अगर बाद में आप देख रहे 2-4 हफ्तों के बाद या 2-4 महीनों के बाद, then you are continuously doing some experiments with that particular group of children, and then you are seeing what are the results. So whether their behaviors are changing, whether if they are into the trauma, they are coming out of the trauma or not, if they are having some like if they are actually has a criminal mindset, then whether they are changing their minds or not. So likewise in the different settings you can conduct the experimental you can do some certain experiments, so they are called behavioral studies. You are seeing those behavior changes in the control settings. ठीक है? Then there are different types of samplings. One is random sampling. Every individual in the random sampling, you are giving like every individual has an equal chance to be a part of your research study. There is no like discrimination that you are putting up. It is like a lottery method. You are just like randomly maybe, I mean, of course it should be in a systematic, see everything it should be in a systematic manner only, but we can call it as systematic random sampling only. So systematically you are making a list of participants or maybe respondents of your potential respondents of your study, and you are randomly kind of giving the numbers. So maybe you can decide that like every second number of this list will be my respondents of my study. So random sampling, stratified sampling is dividing population by income groups, or maybe dividing sample population by their gender, maybe by their sex, whether they are male, female, or other. So accordingly you are dividing them, and then accordingly you are doing the stratification in the study. Or in the another sampling type is cluster sampling. So maybe you are doing like you are doing a study in one kind of bigger region, so you are selecting schools in different clusters. So for example, in Mumbai, if you are conducting a study in Mumbai, you are like creating certain clusters, and then accordingly you are selecting schools from those particular clusters. so that there will be equal representation from different clusters of the city. हर एक सिटी के अलग अलग कोने से अगर आप रिप्रेजेंटेशन ले लोगे, तो उसमें क्या हो जाएगा कि आपका स्टडी जो है वो सिर्फ एक एरिया स्पेसिफिक नहीं हो जाएगा, वो थोड़ा सा ब्रॉड स्टडी हो जाएगा। बड़े तौर पे वो अच्छे खासे रिजल्ट्स आपको दे सकता है। Then purposive sampling, choosing, I mean, I have given just here as an activists, but choosing certain, people, those who are, like into that particular, issue or problem. So purposive sampling is something wherein you are purposively choosing thank you, choosing a, participant in your research. So purposive sampling may, for example, I have conducted study in my PhD that was on impact of farmer suicides. No, not in my PhD, in my MPhil, impact of farmer suicides on the suicidal families, deceased families. तो यहाँ पे I had to apply purposive sampling only, because I'm very very specific that like which families will be the respondents of my study. So in that case, I have chosen purposive sampling as one of the type of my research sampling method, and then accordingly, I have purposefully chosen, like for example, women from this particular two women from this particular village, three children from that particular village. So that I have chosen. I have not given a chance to the respondents. I have not randomly selected. I have not randomly sampled them. I have purposefully sampled them because I wanted some specific. I have decided some specific criteria for my sampling, and accordingly, I have used I have sampled them. Now another thing is snowball sampling. Okay, snowball sampling में क्या कर रहे हैं आप? You are accessing hidden population, like you are accessing hidden, like kind of habits of the people, hidden, challenges of the people, or hidden, kind of, skills also of the peoples as well. So you are just like putting like you are putting in a group setting or in the hall setting, you are putting some question, and you are like, it is kind of a snowball. बॉल फेंक दिया किसी के ऊपर और किसी ने पकड़ लिया। आप में से फॉर एग्जांपल कैसे स्नोबॉल सैम्पलिंग कैसे आप सिलेक्ट कर रहे हो? तो आप में से कौन कौन स्मोकिंग करता है? बॉल फेंक दिया, जिसने कैच किया दैट इज वन ऑफ योर रेस्पोंडेंट। आप में से मतलब ये ऐसे ही करना है, ऐसे नहीं है, बट स्नोबॉल सैम्पलिंग इज समथिंग लाइक इन दिस, बाय यूजिंग दिस काइंड ऑफ टेक्निक्स यू कैन आइडेंटिफाई the sample for your study so that you can reach out to the exact population group which you wanted to study. ठीक है, आप किस मतलब नॉन स्मोकर को स्मोकिंग के क्वेश्चंस पूछ के कोई फायदा नहीं ना। सो लाइकवाइज यू शुड बी, आई मीन दीज आर डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स wherein you have to apply to reach out to the exact participants or exact respondents of your study. That is the meaning of, that is why the different sampling is important in the research, है ना। आपको एग्जैक्टली उस पॉपुलेशन के पास पहुंचने के लिए सैम्पलिंग बहुत बड़ा रोल ये करता है, प्ले करता है। ठीक है ना। और सैम्पलिंग करते समय हर एक चीज में, लाइक व्हाई आर यू यूजिंग एनी ऑफ दिस सैम्पलिंग टाइप, हर एक सैम्पलिंग टाइप का रीजन आपको देना पड़ता है। व्हाई दिस पर्टिकुलर, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, व्हाई दिस पर्पसिव सैम्पलिंग विल बी मोस्ट यूजफुल फॉर योर रिसर्च। You should rationalize each and everything. Why snowball sampling only will be most useful for your research? You should have a reason. You should not be random. I mean, कैसे भी आप select कर रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. You should definitely have a reason behind choosing each and every tool, technique, or any type in your research. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आपने कहीं पे फुल स्टॉप पे अगर अगर डाल दिया आपके सेंटेंसेस में, वो फुल स्टॉप का भी मीनिंग होना चाहिए, वो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि व्हाई डिड यू पुट दैट फुल स्टॉप ओवर देयर। if you have used inverted comma somewhere, why that particular, what does that inverted comma talks about? सो इतना ज्यादा माइन्यूट तरीके से आपको ध्यान देना पड़ता है आपके रिसर्च का, जो भी आप डिजाइन कर रहे हैं, लिख रहे हैं, या आर्टिकल लिख रहे हैं, या डेजर्टेशन लिख रहे हैं उस समय. So thereby I'm saying whatever, whether this is method, data collection method, whether it is like type of research, or whether it is sampling technique, whichever it is, should be chosen with a rational mindset, should have a rational behind choosing each and every. rational का मतलब पता है ना आपको? rational मतलब हिंदी में तर्क बोलते हैं उसको, हिंदी यानी मराठी मध्ये सुद्धा. सो तरीके से आपको जो भी चीज आप चूज कर रहे हैं अपने रिसर्च के लिए, वो यूज करना है आपको. ठीक है. नाउ अगेन, अभी तक यहां तक समझ में आया?
यस सर.
मुझे एक ही रेस्पॉन्स आ रहा है कब से, कोई और? सारे लोग पार्टिसिपेंट्स सबको समझ में आ रहे हैं?
यस सर.
ओके, ठीक है. नाउ डेटा एनालिसिस मेथड्स. सो इन सिंपल वेज, इन द क्वांटिटेटिव रिसर्च अगर है आपका, if you are conducting quantitative research, then statistical analysis it will be. Okay, you are doing different descriptive statistics that are coming out of your research. Regression on income versus education, or maybe correlation between income versus education, right? So ये सारे अलग अलग टेक्निक्स जो है, वो आप एनालिसिस करते समय अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि आपका स्टडी जो है उसमें अलग अलग वेरिएबल्स है, और अलग अलग वेरिएबल्स का आपको क्या करना है, वेदर दे आर, if is there any dependent, I mean if there are dependent and independent variables. Okay, so within that, if you have, like, if there are some dependent variables, for example income is a dependent variable, isn't it? And then education again is also dependent variable, whereas age is independent variable, sex is independent variable, है ना? ऐसे कुछ डेमोग्राफिक जो फीचर्स है, वो आपको ढूंढने पड़ेगी कौन से इंडिपेंडेंट है मेरे रिसर्च में और कौन से डिपेंडेंट है. फॉर एग्जांपल, एजुकेशन is highly dependent variable. Why? It depends based on different situations in the society. So सोसाइटी के सिचुएशंस में मतलब क्या है, आपका इनकम लेवल क्या है. अगर फॉर एग्जांपल धीरू भाई अंबानी पब्लिक इंटरनेशनल पब्लिक स्कूल, पता है आप लोगों को? सुना है इसका नाम आपने?
हाँ सर.
राइट. सो उसमें उसमें हर कोई एडमिशन ले सकता है? चलो, बहुत सारे लोगों का रिस्पांस मैं अज्यूम कर रहा हूँ कि नहीं है.
नहीं.
ओके. सो everybody cannot, anybody and everybody cannot take admission in like all those high rated or maybe hyped educational institutions, because people's income level will not match there, right? Again, if anybody is studying in government schools, there is always a situation, I mean there is always uh, I mean there are always the childrens in the government schools, they are from lower income groups, or people, students those who are from lower classes as well, castes also. I mean class and income is similar, but castes as well, right? So there is, even class is depend upon caste, income is also depend upon caste. In many of the, like, many researchers have found out these differentiations as well. So thereby I'm saying you will have to identify which are the independent variables in my study, which are the dependent variables in my study, and then accordingly you will have to analyze the results of your research. So how education is being affected because of the income categories of the like of the peoples in the society. मेरा इनकम कितना है उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आई विल डिसाइड द स्कूल of my child, and how long he or she will take education, that also will be dependent upon my income. ठीक है. So कितना मतलब, for example, some people will not be afford to take education after 10th standard. Some people will not be able to afford to take education after 12th standard. कुछ लोगों को उनका इनकम लेवल कम है, इसकी वजह से उनको ग्रेजुएशन स्टडी करने के लिए नहीं मिल सकता है. सो एजुकेशन इज largely dependent upon income. Likewise, there are so many other. For example, education is also dependent upon government policies. एजुकेशन को थोड़ा सा बाजू, इनकम को थोड़ा सा बाजू में रखो. गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज, अगर गवर्नमेंट के पॉलिसीज में रिजर्वेशन ये अगर कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं होता तो शायद एजुकेशनल एनरोलमेंट है जो है अभी वो अलग होता. राइट शायद आप लोगों को सर्टन सोशल कास्ट कम्युनिटी के चिल्ड्रंस आपको नहीं दिखते हायर एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस में या स्कूल्स में भी. राइट. So thereby there are many things which you will have to see which one is depend upon what. So you will have to, that you as a researcher only will be able to identify because you are doing a very specific and thorough study about the problem that you are choosing. ठीक है. So in this is in terms of statistical analysis, in terms of quantitative research. Now thematic analysis. Thematic analysis means that this will be largely applied into the qualitative research studies. So qualitative research studies में क्या करना है आप लोगों को, आप अलग अलग लोगों के इन डेप्थ इंटरव्यूज कंडक्ट कर रहे हैं, and at the same time you are also conducting focused group discussions. And primarily both of these types are, I mean, tools are being used because you are applying qualitative research framework in your research. So there in that case you are coding the different transcripts of your interviews. है ना, अलग अलग इंटरव्यूज ले लिए, उसका एक आपने अच्छा खासा ट्रांसक्रिप्ट बनाया, एंड देन उस ट्रांसक्रिप्ट में क्या क्या एमर्ज हो रहा है, क्या क्या आ रहा है, क्या क्या नए नए पॉइंट्स उसमें ऊपर आ रहे, that you are that you are coding one by one. So if you are doing it manually, if you are not doing it manually, then you have NVivo software also, and you have Atlas TI software as well, and there are many other quality research softwares, but you can definitely go for NVivo or Atlas TI. So you will have to code the transcript, code the new like emergent themes whichever is coming out of your interview, and then accordingly you are analyzing based on different responses that you have received from different participants. समझ में आ रहा है ये? नया नया रिस्पॉन्स कोई? नहीं आ रहा है. Am I right? या मैं डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया हूं? जो अपना रेगुलर बोलता है वही बोलो प्लीज.
Sir, the participants are responding in the chat box.
Oh, I said no, please don't respond in the chat box because I am not able to see the chat box.
Sandeep is saying yes, sir.
Okay.
यस सर, मुझे समझ में आया, मैंने चैट बॉक्स में ही पिछले 2-3 रिप्लाई दिए थे.
थैंक यू संदीप जी. एक्चुअली मैं ना वो ये नहीं देख पा रहा हूँ चैट बॉक्स, क्योंकि मैंने स्क्रीन फुल शेयर किया है, तो वहां पे मुझे कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है. थैंक यू. बट ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट आई वांटेड टू से, दैट लाइक thematic analysis, statistical analysis are the parts of quantitative and qualitative research. Now discourse analysis. For example, you are doing study of Mahanagar Palika इलेक्शंस इन महाराष्ट्र. रिसेंटली वो खत्म हो गए ना, बीएमसी इलेक्शन, और अलग अलग जो बड़े 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 नहीं, सारे ही डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स के जो म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस थे उनके इलेक्शंस हो गए. सो उसमें बहुत सारे पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स ने अलग अलग स्पीचेस दिए हैं, राइट. सम पीपल हैव ट्राइड टू, like I mean, there are different issues that they have picked up. So some majorly, like all the politicians, whether it is Maharashtra or whether it is in Delhi or whichever parts of the country, whether it is Odisha or Tamil Nadu, we have religion is one of the most favorite talk of the people, right? So different political parties use religion in different use religion in different ways, right, in their speeches. So this kind of discourses, or this kind of issues that are coming up, or this kind of like talks that are coming up from the political leaders, if you are trying to analyze them together, that will be called as a discourse analysis. Then another one is content analysis. So content analysis is like studying media coverage of protests. Okay. आप लोगों ने बहुत सारे प्रोटेस्ट का मीडिया कवरेज देखा है? कोई एग्जांपल दे सकते हैं आप लोग? प्रोटेस्ट होते हैं, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल इन महाराष्ट्र वी हैड Maratha reservation protest. It was a huge protest recently, in I think 6-7 months back. There was a huge protest in Delhi some 2-3 years back, 4 years back, 5 years back, I think, during COVID
farmers
time.
protest.
Farmers protest. और कोई आप अपने अपने स्टेट्स के प्लीज एग्जांपल्स दे दो. ओके, सो ये दोनों भी प्रोटेस्ट देख लो. इसमें अलग अलग मीडिया जो है, like for example, if you take the example, because farmers protest is the national level protest, so it will be easier for all of you to understand. farmers protest को कवर अलग अलग तरीके से मीडिया ने किया, राइट. some media was favor, like like intentionally favoring the protest, and some media unintentionally but intentionally putting up some disfavoring the protests. So types of coverage and types of analysis of the protest, or types of giving information to the public was very very different in different media channels, right. Specifically if you can see the visual media, TV media जो है, उन लोगों ने अलग अलग तरीके से अपनी बात, गवर्नमेंट की बात और प्रोटेस्टर्स की बात रखने की कोशिश की. बट हर एक मीडिया का अलग अलग इंटेंशन भी था. सो वो इंटेंशन तभी समझ में आता है जब हर एक मीडिया को आप सुनते हैं, समझते हैं, एंड देन यू ट्राई टू कम अप विद द एनालिसिस दैट किसने कैसे कवर किया, और किस चीज को ज्यादा हाईलाइट किया, किस चीज को कम हाईलाइट किया, किसकी वजह से लोगों का फेवरिज्म प्रोटेस्ट की तरफ बढ़ गया, किसकी वजह से लोगों में हेट्रेडनेस पैदा हो गया उस प्रोटेस्ट के बारे में, चाहे वो फार्मर्स प्रोटेस्ट हो या कोई और प्रोटेस्ट हो. सो ये कंटेंट एनालिसिस जो है, ये भी एक वन ऑफ द टाइप्स ऑफ एनालिसिस है which can be used in this kind of studies. But I'm not saying that कि ये सिर्फ मैंने जो एग्जांपल्स लिए हैं वही उसी स्टडीज में वो यूज नहीं किए जाते हैं, लेकिन अलग अलग स्टडीज में कंटेंट एनालिसिस, डिस्कोर्स एनालिसिस, थीमेटिक एनालिसिस, स्टैटिस्टिक एनालिसिस किया जा सकता है. ठीक है. देन अनदर एस्पेक्ट इन द रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी इज एथिकल कंसिडरेशंस. ठीक है. सो इन द एथिकल कंसिडरेशंस you should definitely have informed consent. मतलब पार्टिसिपेंट से आप सम्मति ले रहे, उसको बता रहे कि हम आपका इंफॉर्मेशन ले रहे हैं और इस बारे के इसके इस चीज के बारे में हम आपसे बात करने वाले हैं, और आपसे हमें ये इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए, और आप मुझे बता दें कि आपको पार्टिसिपेट करना है या नहीं करना है. It is depend upon the participants. So you are informing the participants for what purpose that you are taking the information, and then what that information will be used for what purpose again. So that informed consent has to be taken from the participants. So participants also should say that, like, must be agree that voluntarily they are participating in your research. ओके. सो इन्फॉर्म्ड कंसेंट होना चाहिए आपके इंटरव्यू शेड्यूल में हो, या आपका जो भी इंटरव्यू का टूल है उसमें, आई मीन डेटा कलेक्शन का टूल जो भी है. देन अनदर पॉइंट इज confidentiality. Confidentiality, like many times what happens, for example, you are doing some very serious research which is about people's experiences about many things, like for example, if you are doing a gender study, और किसी को सेक्सुअल अब्यूज के बारे में अगर रिसर्च कर रहे हैं आप, और सेक्सुअल अब्यूज होने वाले जो गर्ल्स हो या महिलाएं हो, उनके साथ उनका अगर इंटरव्यू कर रहे हैं आप, और उन्होंने आपसे बहुत सारी चीजें जो पब्लिक, आई मीन जो बताना नहीं चाहिए, वो भी चीजें आपसे बता दी है, क्योंकि उन्होंने आपके ऊपर ट्रस्ट किया है. सो विल यू बी ब्रेकिंग द ट्रस्ट? Obviously no, right? That will be highly unethical. सो बहुत बार रिसर्चर्स जब भी इंफॉर्मेशन लेने के लिए जाते हैं अलग अलग रेस्पोंडेंट्स के पास में या पार्टिसिपेंट्स के पास में, दे अर्न देयर ट्रस्ट, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट ट्रस्ट अर्निंग दे शेयर देयर लाइक पर्सनल डिटेल्स विथ यू. शायद फॉर एग्जाम्पल पर्सनल डिटेल्स में छोटी सी भी चीज हो सकती है. किसी ने अपना इनकम भी बता दिया कि मैं इतना इतना कमाता हूँ हर साल का या हर महीने का. वो भी पर्सनल है, वो भी आपको कॉन्फिडेंशियली रखना है. आपको किसी और को नहीं बताना है कि ये बंदे का फैमिली इनकम 6 लाख रुपए है पर महीना. कम्युनिटी में अगर किसी और को बताओगे तो शायद वो कम्युनिटी के भी लोग उसके उसके ऊपर दूसरी तरीके से, क्योंकि जनरली कम्युनिटीज में, छोटी छोटी जो कम्युनिटीज है उसमें 6 लाख इज अ हायर इनकम. ठीक है. सो यू आर definitely protecting their information as well as their identities. Okay. So confidentiality is something very important. If you are doing some case study research, if you are doing some qualitative research, within that also, if somebody have shared their sufferings, feelings about their in being in the society, you should not use their exact names. You can probably use their pseudonyms. Okay. And at the end you can mention that, like, the names are used in this research are the pseudonyms to like follow the confidentiality aspect in my research. ऐसे कहीं तो लिखना पड़ेगा आपको. But you should not use the exact names of the participants as well. And you should also be careful that, like, the data which is shared by different participants should also not be leaked by you at any point of time. So this is something very important, and sometimes it may cause like it may cause a very big problem to the participants as well if you break the confidentiality. Now another thing is avoiding bias. Okay. चाहे आप कोई भी कम्युनिटी से हैं, आप चाहे सवर्ण है, या आप चाहे दलित कम्युनिटी से है, आप चाहे ओबीसी से है, या आप और कोई भी लाइक आदिवासी कम्युनिटी से है, you being a researcher, you are not a community person there. चाहे आप अपने ही कम्युनिटी का भी रिसर्च कर रहे हो, तब भी आपको न्यूट्रल रहना है. You will have to avoid the biases, because unless and until you will not get the exact results, आप अगर biased questions पूछोगे, या आप ही खुद बोलोगे कि यार ये लोग ऐसे होते हैं, वो लोग वैसे होते हैं, उन लोगों ने हम पे बहुत ज्यादा हम उनके साथ ऐसे अन्याय करना चाहिए, या उन लोगों ने हमारे ऊपर बहुत सारे अन्याय किए हैं, ये अगर ये हो जाएगा आपसे, आपका पर्सनल ओपिनियंस उनके पास जाएंगे और उनके पर्सनल ओपिनियंस आप फिर उधर लोगे, तो वो क्या हो जाएगा, इट विल बी अ बायस्ड स्टडी, इट विल नॉट बी अ साइंटिफिक स्टडी। वो उसका जो वो उससे वो आपको तुरंत वो इमीडिएट लेवल पे आपको सेटिस्फाई कर सकता है, आपको भी और रिसर्चर को भी, लेकिन साइंटिफिक लेवल पे आपको सेटिस्फाई नहीं कर पाएगा। उस स्टडी को आप साइंटिफिक लेवल पे पब्लिश करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा। ठीक है, सो देयर बाय अवॉइडिंग बाइसेस, वॉट एवर इज द फैक्ट, यू आर पुटिंग द फैक्ट एज इट इज बेस्ड ऑन द scientific research methodological approach that you have, framework that you have applied in your research. ठीक है, respecting the participants. Now participants are very very crucial in your research. They are many times like nowadays in many of the study, like many of the institutions, people are talking about whether the participants also should receive some money for their time, क्योंकि वो आपके सामने एक एक घंटा अपनी स्टोरीज क्यों बताएंगे, आप क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे वो अपना रेस्पॉन्स देंगे, वो तो उनका टाइम भी खर्चा कर रहे हैं आप, और उसके बाद में उनके उनके लिए कुछ बड़ा सा ऐसे कुछ कर भी नहीं रहे ना। खास तौर पे मास्टर्स का रिसर्च हो या एमफिल का रिसर्च हो या समटाइम्स पीएचडी का भी रिसर्च होगा, तो भी वो तो आपका पर्सनल बेनिफिट ही है ना उसमें। आप रिसर्च करके करने क्या वाले हो, मतलब कोई पॉलिसी उनके लिए बनाने वाले हैं, या कोई बड़ा सा कोई प्रोग्राम लेके जाने वाले हैं वहां पे, या फिर कोई फंडिंग किसी मतलब डोनर से या किसी और से या किसी एनजीओ से लेके जाने वाले हैं? मोस्टली नहीं है ना। आपका पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट है, आपका पर्सनल पीएचडी या आपका जो भी एजुकेशनल लेवल है वो कंप्लीट करना है आपको, एंड आपका चॉइस्ड सब्जेक्ट भी है, वो स्टडी करना है, और उसी किताब में उसको बंद करके रखना है, और आप कहीं तो लाइब्रेरी में रख रहे हैं उसको, या फिर कहीं तो ऑनलाइन उसका लिंक ये हो रहा है, पब्लिश हो रहा है, एंड नो बडी इज रीडिंग दैट रिसर्च। पार्टिसिपेंट्स को क्या बेनिफिट है? कुछ भी नहीं ना। सो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स नाउ डेज नो पार्टिसिपेंट्स आई हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड, लाइक मैंने कई सारे जो लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल इन पुणे बहुत सारे ऐसे जो कम्युनिटीज है विच विल बी कॉल्ड एज झोपड़पट्टी या स्लम कम्युनिटीज, वहां पे हर साल कोई ना कोई बच्चे, एमएसडब्ल्यू के बच्चे हो या कोई और सोशल साइंसेस पढ़ने वाले बच्चे हो, वो वहाँ पे जाते हैं, उनकी कम्युनिटी के इश्यूज समझ में आते हैं, उसमें वो जेंडर का स्टडी करते हैं, उसमें वो उनके कास्ट का स्टडी करते हैं, उसमें वो उनके हाइजीन का स्टडी करते हैं, उनके रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ का स्टडी करते हैं, ऐसे अलग अलग स्टडीज करते हैं, वापस आते हैं, डॉक्यूमेंट करते हैं, वो सबमिट कर देते हैं एज वन ऑफ द असाइनमेंट, एज वन ऑफ द डिसर्टेशन और समथिंग, नथिंग हैपेंस, राइट? एंड दिस इज व्हाट आप लोग भी मतलब करने वाले हैं, तो क्या ही होने वाला है उसमें। आई एम नॉट डिस्करेजिंग यू, बट आई एम टेलिंग यू द ट्रुथ that most of the researchers they are collecting data just for their own degree earnings, and later on that is going once they receive the degree, that goes into the like library, which will be, nobody will be referring that those research. So thereby another suggestion is that like आपको इस इससे अगर बाहर निकलना है तो आपको अच्छा खासा आर्टिकल पब्लिश करना पड़ेगा किसी अच्छे जर्नल में। और अगर आप सही में आपको लगता है कि इस विषय को या इस सिचुएशन को मुझे न्याय देना है, जस्टिस देना है, तब उसको अच्छे लेवल पे अगर पब्लिश करते हैं, तब जाके डेफिनेटली उसका जो दखल है, चाहे वो आप पॉलिसी में आप डायरेक्टली नहीं ये कर रहे हो, क्या बोलते हैं, सब पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हो, या चाहे आप किसी और एनजीओ से भी नहीं जुड़े हैं, लेकिन आपने अगर स्ट्रांग आर्टिकल लिख के कहीं और कहीं अच्छे खासे जर्नल में अगर पब्लिश कर दिया उसको, तो डेफिनेटली उसका जो इम्पैक्ट है वो बहुत ज़्यादा डिफरेंट लेवल्स पे जाता है, जिसका डेफिनेटली जो पॉलिसी मेकर्स है उनको भी उसका उसको लाइक उसको कंसिडर करना पड़ता है, right? So thereby keep this in mind that like you, if you are doing a research, do it in a scientific rigor, and in case if you are getting an opportunity to publish it, definitely publish that into a good journal. ठीक है? So respecting participants, their cultural and emotional sensitivity. You, as I said again, कि आप जो भी आपका जो भी पर्सनल आइडेंटिटी है वो आपका है, और वही पर्सनल आइडेंटिटी जो है वो उस पार्टिसिपेंट्स का भी है। उसको उतना ही रिस्पेक्ट अपनी कल्चर से है जितना आपको आपके कल्चर से रिस्पेक्ट है। उसको उतने ही इमोशंस हैं जितने आपको है। ठीक है? सो रिस्पेक्ट ईच अदर्स emotions, each other's cultures, each other's, whatever sensible points that are coming up should be respected. No matter you belongs to his culture or you do not belong to his or her culture, doesn't matter. You be there as a researcher, neutral researchers. ठीक है? So respecting participants. So these are some of the ethical considerations that has to be taken care while doing any social science research. Now there are definitely challenges in social science research, right? मैंने बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स अभी अभी दे भी दिए हैं. सो सब्जेक्टिविटी एंड रिसर्चर बायस, ये सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है सोशल साइंस रिसर्चर्स में. सब्जेक्टिविटी मतलब क्या है? सब्जेक्टिविटी मीन्स द like narratives, the realities that are given by different participants, and based on that, how do researcher look at all those narratives, look at all those like experiences, all those kind of data that has been shared by the participants. अगर फॉर एग्जांपल आप एक समुदाय से बिलोंग करते हैं और उस समुदाय ने अपने बारे में बहुत ऐसे अच्छा ये मतलब ये लिखा है, बहुत सारे कंप्लेंट्स किए हैं दूसरे कम्युनिटी के बारे में, एंड यू बिलोंग टू दैट पार्टिसिपेंट्स कम्युनिटी, तो आप दोनों भी लेवल का जो है ये है एनालिसिस है वो करना चाहिए, ना कि आप सिर्फ उनसे सुन के उनका ही जो ये है व्यू पॉइंट है वो रखना चाहिए. अदर देन इट विल बी कॉल्ड अ बायस, एंड दैट विल नॉट बी अ साइंटिफिक इंक्वायरी. देन इट विल बी जस्ट द नरेशन दैट उसने बताया है, वो उसको आपने फॉर्मल तरीके से कहीं तो लिखा है, ऐसे ही हो जाएगा. ठीक है? सो रिसर्चर शुड नॉट बी बायस्ड, रिसर्चर शुड नॉट बी सब्जेक्टिव ऑल्सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ डेटा. ठीक है? सो दिस इज समथिंग, चाहे भी कितना भी हम चाहे वो थोड़ा सा बायसनेस आता है, ऐसा बहुत सारे जो नेचुरल साइंटिस्ट है उनका कहना है. एक्सेस टू पार्टिसिपेंट्स इन सेंसिटिव कॉन्टेक्स्ट. समटाइम्स मेनी टाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस, अगर आप फॉर एग्जांपल आपको किसी विमेन्स के ऊपर वायलेंस हो रहा है उसका अगर स्टडी करना है, like if you wanted to study some domestic violence cases, उसमें आपको पार्टिसिपेंट्स मिलना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. अगर आप किसी महिला को जाके उसके घर में जाके अगर क्वेश्चंस करोगे कि आपके पति आपको मारते हैं क्या, अगर नहीं मारते तो फिर वायलेंस किस तरीके का होता है आपके ऊपर, वर्बल होता है कि आपकी सास जो है, सांस नहीं, सास जो है वो मदर इन लॉ बाय द वे, वो आपसे ये करती है क्या, मतलब अलग अलग तरीके से बात करती है क्या, या उसकी तरफ से कोई वायलेंस, फिजिकल वायलेंस होता है क्या, या मेंटल व्हाट इमोशनल वायलेंस होता है क्या, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ वायलेंसेस आर देयर, राइट? सो अगर वो महिला उसी सास के साथ रहती है तो वो 100% आपको नहीं बता पाएगी ना कि उसके साथ क्या वायलेंस होता है. या फिर उसको ये भी डर होता है कि मैंने अकेले में भी आपको बताया तब भी मेरा पति अगर कहीं से उसको समझ में आया, या फिर मेरी सास को अगर कहीं, सास ससुर जो है उनको अगर कहीं से समझ में आया कि मेरे ऊपर जो अन्याय होता है वो इसने कहीं किसी और को बताया है, तो डर जाएगी. सो ये सेंसिटिव कॉन्टेक्स्ट है, ऐसे सेंसिटिव, ऐसे बहुत सारे इश्यूज हैं. तो ऐसे सिचुएशंस में एक्सेस टू पार्टिसिपेंट्स इज आल्सो वन ऑफ द चैलेंज इन द सोशल साइंस रिसर्च. कल्चरल एंड लिंग्विस्टिक बैरियर्स. बहुत बार हमारे यहाँ पे तो लैंग्वेजेस तो कई सारे हैं ना, 6,000 से भी ऊपर कुछ तो लैंग्वेजेस है. we have different cultures. We are multicultural cultural country, right? So in that case, we definitely have cultural barriers, which also not only we social science research मतलब हमारे यहाँ पे ही नहीं, दुनिया में जहाँ पे भी होता है सोशल साइंस, ये सबके इश्यूज है वो. Ethical dilemmas in vulnerable populations. So ethical dilemmas means like आप एथिकली उसके ऊपर काम करते हैं या नहीं करते हैं, रिसर्चर उसको किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट से देखता है, रिसर्चर उसको किस तरीके से नैरेट करता है, उसका बायस कहाँ जाता है या आता है, ये सारी चीजें जो है वो भी वन ऑफ द चैलेंजेस है सोशल साइंसेस रिसर्च में. एंड फाइनली रिसर्च, since we are talking about research methodology is essential for credible social science research. Okay. It definitely combines philosophical grounding with practical tools and enables systematic exploration of complex social phenomena. So thereby, research methodology is very, very critical, and it has to be applied in a very, very wise manner. Okay, it has to be definitely, you should definitely have a rigorous understanding about your research topics, and accordingly you should know that which particular type, method, tool, anything that you are applying from of the research methodology will be applicable to your research. Okay, I think this is this was the last slide. We'll stop here. Anything that you would like to ask, or you would like to share?
काफी कुछ नए पॉइंट्स इसमें मिले हैं, हम सोच रहे हैं इसके बारे में बहुत ज्यादा.
Okay.
और सवाल अभी इमीडिएट तो नहीं है, लेकिन इसको सोच के और भी अगर कोई है सवाल तो आगे पूछेंगे.
थैंक यू संदीप जी. डेफिनेटली आई मीन इमीडिएट रेस्पॉन्सेस नहीं होगे तो भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, लेकिन आप जब अपना रिसर्च फ्रेम कर रहे हो, आपका जब रिसर्च आप मेथोडोलॉजी जब लिख रहे हैं आपके रिसर्च में, that time you definitely keep all these things in mind, and then accordingly make a research methodology, design your research methodology. And in the next class, if you have anything that you would like to ask, discuss, or maybe Hemangi ma'am is also there, she can also guide you whenever she is meeting you in between also. So you can definitely uh, yeah, I'll share the PPT as well in the WhatsApp group. So yeah, definitely you can ask both of us. And but what I'm saying, simultaneously you keep working on your research methodology or questions, whatever you are at whatever stage you are at, you simultaneously keep working on the on your research. ठीक है, चलेगा? Can we stop here?
Yes.
Share the PPT.